Mark Donovan, thank you for joining me today in our new series for businesses around Ireland that are now taking off in this next part of 2020. We know some of them have been on that journey, and some now, with the economy opening up, are planning and refocusing. We know there's a lot of leaders that are in the cockpits and so many things that they need to focus on. That's got their attention in terms of how do they guide this business now through this next phase. Mark, you do a lot of wonderful things for leaders and for businesses around Ireland. Tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved in that part of the business.
Yeah, I mean, I would always say, Corin, I mean, I help leaders keep their word and do what they say they'll do. I mean, I see myself as an expert in driving high performance and engagement across senior leaders and their teams. I work with organizations like PRL, Beam Centauri, Kuhn & Nagel, Top Oil, Baxter Healthcare. I suppose going back, how did I get into this business? A great question. A long time ago, I mean, I sort of left school at 15 and started doing a bakery apprenticeship. Realized that wasn't where my talents lay, and I ended up going back to night school doing leaving cert, and then studied accountancy through night school and qualified. I think I spent about 12 years in the financial services. A lot of that was in middle management, senior leadership roles, which really got me into the whole area of what drives high performance, what drives engagement, what drives businesses to go forward. And then about 17 years ago, I set up my own company, and touch wood, it's gone extremely well so far.
Well, that's wonderful, and a lot of value that you're adding to these businesses. Surely with your engagement with them and understanding what their needs are and the conversations you're having with them, Mark, the leaders are so overwhelmed with so many things at the moment. What do you think is the three main aspects for the rest of this year that they'll have to focus on in their businesses? What are your advice to them?
Well, my advice first is to, I think you're right, Corin. I mean, I think businesses are overwhelmed. There's pressure and there's stuff on a lot of leaders. But I still think leaders need to speak, with energy and confidence with their staff and with their customers. I think energy and confidence is infectious, and I think people want that from leaders more so than ever. The key question that I feel I've been asking my customers over the last 3 months has been, what are your key challenges and how can I help? And I think that's a great starting point for any leader to go back to customers and ask that, because a lot of their customers are nervous. A lot of their customers are lacking in that energy and confidence.
Right.
I suppose the second point to me is I think organizations now need to really, really engage and empower their people. And one key area that is, as a question I would ask a lot of my clients is, what costs absolutely nothing to give, but gains higher productivity, higher engagement, higher sales, lower costs. And maybe just go back, maybe a story where I learned from one of the masters of engaging people, and that was Fergal Quinn. I mean, some of the people on the line here might remember Fergal Quinn, Super Quinn. Sadly, he passed away last year. But I mean, I go back a long time as a 14-year-old in my first sort of job, and I'm sweeping the floor in in Super Quinn Fingers, where I'm from. Huge store. And when Fergal Quinn come into the business, I mean, he was like God walking in. Fergal Quinn would walk into the business. There'd be all the managers would be around him. They would be all trying to impress him. And Fergal would walk out in the middle of the floor in the shop. I mean, we always believed that, get in the front line, and I'm sweeping the floor one day, have I work for Super Quinn sweatshirt. I'm getting my 75 pence an hour. I have my little name badge on it saying Mark. And Fergal, walks by and he just said, Mark, he said, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep on doing it. And I have to say, I was amazed. I mean, this you know, the CEO of the organization had probably taken a few seconds out to talk to one of the, you know, you'd say the lowest members of the organization. And I mean, did I sweep that floor well? Did I do the trolleys well later on that evening? Had I got a smile on my face? 100%. A few weeks later, sweeping the floor again, Fergal's walking by with his big entourage around him. I seen him slightly looking down at my name badge, walks on. A few minutes later, comes back again. He said, Mark, you're doing a fantastic job. Well done. I mean, to me, that is phenomenal leadership skills. I mean, taking the time to appreciate the people that work for you. And, you know, to me, the second thing in, you know, what leaders need to do today is show that appreciation. As I said, it costs nothing, but the results are phenomenal.
I'd say that made you fly after he gave you that recognition.
Yeah, without a doubt. As I said, a brilliant man, way ahead of his time in a lot of things. And the third point I'd probably say is, you know, ask your people, ask the people that work for you, what ideas do they have to increase sales, reduce costs, serve our customers better? I mean, the people in the front line are the people that know the business better than anybody else does. Are people asked in business? In my experience, no. You know, I was working with a company last year, and I had a number of people from different departments in a room, and we done some brainstorming, and they actually come up with an idea to save the business over €700,000 per year. Wow. And that was just by getting, you know, 4 or 5 people from different areas of the business into a room to discuss some real business challenges. I think I remember joking with the CEO later on. He said, Mark, he said, 4 of my divisional leaders are claiming credit and want to put that into their, you know, figures for the year. But I mean, so to me is ask your people, what ideas do they have to improve things?
I can imagine that when you have a lot of people that know that they're working towards a purpose and the same goal, that fuels that motivation and that sense of belonging between the staff. Yeah,
definitely. I think you've hit a great point, Karen, about sense of belonging. You know, people want the sense of belonging, and particularly coming out of this current crisis, people feel, as you said earlier on, they feel, you know, lack of confidence. They feel a lack of purpose. You know, you know, people are concerned. So you start asking them for their ideas, their opinions, their views on it. Definitely people feel part of the organization. They feel part of what's being done. They want to add value. And a lot of my clients who I'm talking with on Zoom calls, they continually say, Mark, I want to add value to the business. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So people do that as leaders. Yeah. I mean, that's, again, it costs absolutely nothing to ask people. Remember, the first time you ask them, you might get nothing back. Why is that? Because they haven't been asked before. You might get a sense of shock. You might get a sense of, but you got to do it consistently. Ask them, what do they think? What are their ideas? How do we improve things? And then there's an expectation that they're going to be asked. Yeah.
And that it's valued, that opinion
is valued. Yeah. And even the other thing as well is going back to them and letting them know, if you can't implement what they've suggested, let them know. You know, let them know, you know, great idea, Corin, but you know what? We're not going to have the budget, but thanks a lot for it. Keep them coming. Keep the ideas coming. People feel respected. If they're respected, they'll be engaged. If they're engaged, they're going to give you more.
Right. Mark, that's such valuable advice. Thank you very much for sharing just so openly. And I know that our clients out there are really going to appreciate that as well. Where can companies find you? If they want to connect with you, if they want to take this conversation further with you, where do they get hold of you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn. I mean, my website is you know, www.markdonovan.ie, or they can ring me directly. I mean, my mobile number 086 384 0132.
Right.
And just to finish off, I mean, I think with you know, something that, you know, a key lesson again that I would have learned was you know, a long time ago, as I said, I was doing the bakery apprenticeship, realized there was no long-term future for me, decided to go back to night school. And I remember the very first night I was, I just finished the bakery shift from 5:30 in the morning, cycled into the city centre in Dublin for my first night. I was absolutely terrified, I have to say. I mean, I knew nothing about finance. I mean, none of my family had anything to do with finance or anything. I arrived up at the college early, walked in, I sat right up at the front because I felt, you know, I won't know much, so I didn't want to miss anything. Sat right up the front. As people start coming in, I'm looking around. You know, I seen a guy coming in, a sharp suit and tie on him. I'm thinking, he looks like he knows everything about accountancy. Other people start coming in, I'm looking around. Lady walks in, lovely briefcase. I'm thinking, you know, she must know all about it. Anyway, room settled, lecturer come out, she starts going through the stuff on the board. After 15 minutes, I'm completely and I'm utterly lost. Look around, everybody's writing down stuff. Anyway, I decided, sorry, could you explain that again? She explained it again, excellent lecture, moved on, I understood it. 10 minutes later, lost again, couldn't follow a thing. Looked around again, everybody's writing down stuff. Again, put up my hand, asked her. I'd say it was the longest hour of my life because every time I asked a question, I felt more insecure and nervous. Anyway, at the end of the first hour, she said, time for a break. I just ran out, headed for the men's room. When I'm walking back, I meet the guy with the sharp suit and tie on him. He comes straight for me, looking at me. He said, sorry, he said, what's your name? And he put out his hand to shake my hand. I said, Mark Donovan. He said, Mark, thanks for asking them questions. He said, I hadn't got a clue what she was talking about either. I felt a little bit better. I'm walking by then the door, and there's a few smokers at the door. You know, obviously the smokers will be hanging around the door. One lady shouts, she said, fair play, she said, for asking them questions. You know, we didn't understand anything that was going on.
Amazing.
I felt a bit better. And I shared that story at the end. I think that we are going into a period of uncertainty. We are going into a period of, you know, we don't really know. But I think that we've a lot more knowledge and expertise than we think we have. And to me, it's to take self-responsibility for putting that out there and trying new things, because I think we all have a lot more than we think we have. Yeah. Thanks a lot for giving me the time today, Corin.
That's an amazing story. I agree with you. There must be so much value and gold as such, just amongst the team itself. And yeah, we don't know what the future holds, and we need to carve that way together. I really enjoyed our time together, and I hope we can do this soon again, maybe in person in the near future. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate that.
Corin, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to you. Yeah, cheers. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you. You have a good afternoon.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.